This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Marbury was like, I see you,
Knicks
Thomas.
family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Ladies and gentlemen, the Knicks play the Portland Trailblazers tonight. I'm not even sure what kind of team the Portland Trailblazers are going to be and exactly who all is going to be playing. I think I have an idea, but we'll see. I hate to say it like this because I don't want to jinx the New York Knicks, but this should be a game that the Knicks have a good chance of winning. You know what I'm saying? They should have a good chance of winning this one, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go ahead and break it down. The game starts in about 35 minutes. I would have liked to have gotten on a little bit earlier, but I had to spend my day at the gym. Is what it is. We got Annie in the building. We got Uncle Fulio here. And we're going to go ahead and get into this one. Andy, what's popping with you, man? How you feeling?
Yo, what up, Sim? What up, Josh? Happy to be on. Yeah, I'm happy because this game is at 5 your time, so it's like going to be 11 my time, and that's early for me. So
yeah, Josh.
I'm going to watch this one live.
What's going on, Josh?
Salute, Sam, Andy, NBK fam out there. Go Knicks, as always. Yes, and I agree with you. This is a game that we definitely should be able to win. Definitely a winnable game on this tail end of the West Coast trip that we have. Hopefully we can continue to play hard, play good basketball, move fast, play with a higher pace. And I think we can be able to pull this one out. So we'll see.
Yeah, let's see what's going on. The injury report for tonight, for today, ladies and gentlemen, R.J. Barrett, he's out for the second game in a row with a sprained ankle. Nerlens Noel, he's questionable for tonight. And, of course, Derrick Rose remains out. I think the Knicks expect Derrick Rose to come back sometime after the All-Star break. All right, and we've talked extensively about what the lineups are going to be like when Derrick Rose comes back, so we won't get into that at all. But for the Portland Trailblazers, Eric Bledsoe, he's out, left Achilles, tendinopathy, whatever that is, tendinopathy or something, I don't know. Joe Ingles, you already know about him, left knee ACL tear. Keon Johnson, he's out with a right sprained ankle. Damian Lillard, he's been out. He's in recovery from an operation to his core. Nasir Little is out. He had a left shoulder surgery. He's in recovery. They got a lot of guys out, ladies and gentlemen. The Portland Trailblazers basically are in a rebuilding stage. A weird rebuilding stage, though. It's not like they're breaking it down to the point where they want to trade Damian Lillard. They want to reshape the roster around Damian Lillard. It's a little bit weird to me with what they're trying to do at the age that Damian Lillard is. You know, can you shape the roster around him fast enough? I don't think so. You know what I mean? I really don't. Andy, we'll talk about that for just a second. What's your take on that? Because it's weird. I don't think it can happen. But Damian Lillard says he wants to stay in Portland.
Well, yes, and listen, we were talking about this before the season, and I mentioned, the Trailblazers as one of the teams that will probably tear it down. And I was thinking that they're not going to try to even keep Dame. They could get probably the biggest haul for him. But listen, he's going to have 55 million of reasons to stay there. And I understand that he's loyal and stuff like that, because he seems like one of those guys that he doesn't care if he gets a ring. He was blown off so many All-Star games. I don't know if he was even on one All-Star team. because he was always versus those great guards of the West. So I think at this point he's like, listen, I'm just gonna ride it out, be a hero here in Portland, and for the money he's gonna get, I'd consider it.
Yeah, I mean, but he would get that money anywhere, right? Any place.
Yeah, but
he's got the money. What I'm saying is he's got the money already. So even if they traded him, the money's guaranteed. It's not like he's not going to get the money.
Yeah, but they're talking about the extension above $50 million. I don't think any other team would give him $50 million.
That's true. That's true. They probably won't. Maybe I'll say probably. You never know. Some crazy teams out there do some crazy things. You know what I mean? I don't know. It just seems weird. At some point, you got to figure that you're gonna break it down and not and like have a full restart. At some point, you got to do that. Now, at that point, is Damian Lillard going to say, you know what? All right, I'm only going to take the veterans minimum, or I'll take $10 million. When you get to that point, when he's at that point where he's no longer the Damian Lillard that we know, is he going to be able to recognize that while in Portland? See, that's where it just, I don't know, man. That separation, I think, is long overdue, but looks like it's going to stay for a while. Josh, your quick thoughts on that. We'll get back to this game.
Yeah, I mean, Sim, Andy said it like, 50 something million dollars per season. I get it. The salary cap is going up, but the Blazers cannot build anything around Damian Lillard or reshape anything around him. Not with his contract being what it is. I understand you got like the Giannis contract, but the difference is Giannis had a team already around him, and then he decided to re-up with that team currently there. So they can go above the cap to sign Giannis to that extension. Lillard, on the other hand, $55 million of cap sitting right there, taking up all their space. How can you possibly expect them to build any type of winning team or winning roster when you have that type of centerpiece kind of contract and you don't have anybody else that's there with you? So it doesn't really make any sense for me why this is still a duo like the Blazers and Lillard. From the Blazers standpoint, I can understand it, right? He is your franchise. He is the reason why guys or people spend money and go watch them play, right? So without him, the Blazers don't have anything, right? So for them, it makes sense. But for him, I just don't understand if winning the championship is really what you want to do. I don't understand why you're staying in Portland. So I don't get it.
Yeah. I don't know. For the Trailblazers, being a team that's in a small market, they may just be like, look, we got to continue to rock with him until the wheels fall off.
Absolutely.
Or the laces fall out, whatever it is, because it's going to be hard for us to get another star of his caliber in here. And one, you want him because of the talent. They can play basketball. And two, he draws the crowd.
Sells tickets.
So
yeah.
You need to get
and for him personally, I think if he's going to stay there, he's going to have more respect than if he would bounce anywhere else. Listen, if he came, for example, to the Knicks, to the Pistons, whatever, at his age and his, after the injuries that he has, nobody would, think about him like, and like signing an MJ or even a LeBron, whatever, right? So I think for him, it's like, listen, I'm going to write it out, get this cash, and stick it out here and go down as one of the kind of players that Ewing was, Barkley, the ringless, but at least with the franchise and stuff like that. So
yeah.
Difference is though, Ewing and Barkley did get a chance to compete for a title. I think. Yeah. Speaking about legacies,
yeah.
I think he's going to be known for sticking with his team. But if you ain't got a chance to win a championship, I think that's going to be a big detriment to his legacy ultimately at the end of the day.
I mean, at least Ewing had 2 chances, at least.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he can always say, if it wasn't for Michael Jordan, I might have had this, that, and the third. You know what I mean?
Right.
With Damian, obviously Damian Lillard's in the West, so he can look at it and say, you had Steph Curry and Golden State out there and some teams, but, the closest he's gotten is to the Western Conference Finals. That's the closest. At least he got there. And a couple of years ago, I think a lot of people thought Portland might have been ready to take that next step to that championship level. Just couldn't do it, Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, for the Knicks, just looking at this injury report once again for the Knicks, RJ Barrett is out. Nerlens Noel is questionable. Derrick Rose continues to be out. And for the Portland Trailblazers, Eric Bledsoe is out. Joe Ingles is out. Keon Johnson is out. Damian Lillard, of course, he's out. Nasir Little is out. All right, so let's take a look at the starting lineups. And yes, this is the game day pregame show, ladies and gentlemen. Please, there's a link in the description. Check out thegameday.com for all of your latest sports content and betting odds. You can get betting odds from all of your favorite sports betting platforms. So looking at the starting lineups for tonight, the projected starting lineups, you got Kemba Walker for the New York Knicks at point guard, Evan Fournier at shooting guard, Quentin Grimes at small forward, Julius Randle at power forward, and Mitchell Robinson at the center position. For the Portland Trailblazers, you got Anthony Simons at point guard, Ben McLemore at shooting guard, CJ Ellaby at small forward, Justice Winslow at power forward, and Nurkic at the center spot. It seems like the Knicks should have at least 3 matchup wins here. 2 of them, I mean, Mitchell Robinson and Nurkic, yeah, maybe it'll be a duel. Nurkic will probably score more points. Anthony Simons, I don't know who's going to defend Anthony Simons. I don't think it's going to be Kemba Walker. It could be. I don't know. Let's talk about these matchups. That's what I want to get to you first, Andy. Do you see Kemba Walker matching up with Anthony Simons, or do you think Quentin Grimes goes on Anthony Simons?
Listen, if I'm Tibbs, I'm putting Quentin Grimes on him. But you never know. With Tibbs, might just look for to put Kemba at the beginning and then maybe adjust it. But as far as I see it, even if it's Grimes, I think Simons is used in that offense currently, featured so much that he's probably going to win any matchup that we throw at him.
Right. Yeah, that's true. He'll probably win any matchup that the Knicks throw at him. Size, I mean, CJ Ellaby, I think, is about 6'6" or something like that. Maybe he goes with Kemba Walker guarding CJ Ellaby, let Quentin Grimes guard Anthony Simons, and Evan Fournier stick with Ben McLemore. That's what I'm thinking might happen. Since CJ Ellaby, I think he's averaging about 4 points per game or something like that. I don't think he's a big threat, to score the basketball consistently. But he is 6'6", 200 pounds. You know what I mean? Which, look, the guy is shooting 41% from the field. He shoots 30.8% from the three-point line. I don't think he's a guy that could post up and do those type of things. So maybe you see Kemba Walker on CJ Ellaby and Quentin Grimes on Anthony Simons, right? So let's go ahead. We'll do Evan Fournier and Ben McLemore because I believe that's probably going to be the matchup. What do you see from that matchup there? Let me start with you, Josh. Evan Fournier and Ben McLemore.
Fournier's been playing better lately. He just continues to knock down his shots. He's getting a lot of good opportunities. I see him putting the ball on the floor a little bit, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. I think that's definitely helping this game out a little bit. McLemore, it's surprising. I don't know how long McLemore's been in the league, but I remember when that kid was drafted, I think Thomas just flying. I don't know what happened, but he's a vet now. And he can knock down the 3 ball. So he's got to defend the 3. The Trailblazers overall are one of the highest teams in the league as far as 3-point attempts, and they also make a lot of 3-pointers because they take a lot. So we just got to be able to defend the 3-point line. I don't expect McLemore to put the ball on the floor as much. So it's going to be a tough matchup for Fournier, but I think I'm going to take Fournier based off the way he's been playing.
Yeah. Andy, let me ask you this. Fournier played good last game. I'm expecting him to play good tonight. How much do you think, I hate to say it this way, right? I just don't want to say it this way because I don't want to make it sound like, RJ is doing anything wrong, right? But how much do you think the floor is opened up for Evan Fournier to score without RJ there? And, of course, he's going to get more touches, scoring touches, scoring opportunities. His usage rate probably goes up because RJ isn't there. How much do you think that helps Evan Fournier?
Yes, I definitely think that helps him. But if he's going to be making shots early, I think he's one of the European players that will stick with taking shots at least. If he's not going to make them, he's going to stop taking them. Going back to the matchup, I personally think that Josh Hart is going to start instead of Ben McLemore. Because I think I read somewhere on Twitter that Hart is going to start his game. After the trade, it's going to be the first game that he's going to start.
Okay.
Nonetheless, I was thinking you're going to take a jab at Fournier a little bit deeper, man, because he posted that he can't sleep in the hotel. They brought a merry-go-round in front of their hotel. So I was thinking you're going to go that way. You didn't know how to ask it, how to say it. So I was thinking you're going to go that way. But, let's hope he, finally fell asleep and is going to be rested for today's game.
Yeah. And, Josh Hart could be starting. I'm going by, who's been starting.
Yeah.
And I know he just got traded there. If he's anything like Tom Thibodeau, he might not be starting. You know what I mean?
Till the end of the season.
But even if Josh Hart is starting, I would still keep it Evan Fournier guarding Josh Hart.
Yeah. Yeah, listen, Josh Hart is definitely more athletic and stronger than Fournier, right? But I don't think that he has the offensive prowess that Fournier has. So, I'm still taking Fournier in this matchup.
Yeah, Josh, same question. How much do you think it helps Fournier that R.J. Barrett's not playing?
Well, I do think that Evan Fournier is going to get more touches because RJ is not there. And already Isaiah is in the chat saying, "Oh, now we're going to blame RJ for Fournier playing well because RJ is not there." No one said anything like that.
Exactly. Thank you very much. It has nothing to do with that at all. It's just basketball semantics. So for all these numbnuts out there that want to come up and try to start some kind of crazy rumor about RJ Barrett, go somewhere and kick rocks.
That would be that you started the rumor even.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody trying to start that rumor. It's just RJ's not playing. So obviously Evan Fournier is going to get more touches. Does it help his game tonight? Clearly that makes sense. But, for people who ride the short bus, it might not make sense. Anyway, go ahead, Josh.
So I do expect Fournier to get some more touches. And even with RJ in the lineup, Fournier has had his moments, his games, a stretch of games where he's been playing well. So as long as Fournier can continue to do that, I like the fact that he's putting the ball on the floor a little bit more, get into the paint. He got a nice little floater game that he got going on, kind of mixing it up a little bit. I think that helps the team. So, I think that definitely will increase Fournier's usage and his ability to get some more shots up, and hopefully he can knock them down.
Yeah. And, for people like Cooking with Chef Zay, right, I said, does it help Fournier? I didn't say anything about does it help the team. See, there's a big difference, right? Clearly, if you get more touches, you're going to have a better chance to score the basketball and do more things. If you get less chances to do it, then you won't do it. That doesn't mean that your team is better, because if you watched last game while the Knicks won, you definitely missed what RJ brings to the table. And I know the Knicks won the game, but you missed that left-hand drive to the basket, his ability to find Mitchell Robinson inside. You know what I mean? Some of the ability to post RJ up. You missed that. And I could see it, that the team missed it, and they had to play basketball a different way. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. Hopefully, Evan Fournier is able to capitalize right now, and hopefully Cam Reddish is able to capitalize too. But either way, even if it's Hart that's starting, I'm going to go with Evan Fournier. Now, Quentin Grimes, if he's defending Anthony Simons, I don't think it takes away from his offensive game, right? If it's Quentin Grimes and CJ Ellaby, I'm going with Quentin Grimes all day. If it's Quentin Grimes and Anthony Simons, it's going to be Anthony Simons most likely, right? But what do you expect from Quentin Grimes in this game tonight? I'll start with you, Josh, and get up to Andy.
Yeah. So I do expect Quentin Grimes to be on Anthony Simons. We've seen Grimes in these past few games, or like I want to say since he's been on the floor, in a starting role or coming off the bench, he's been guarding the opposing team's best offensive person, offensive guard or wing, right? It's been Grimes that has been taking on that responsibility. He's going to get beat sometimes. He's not going to be perfect, obviously, when you're going up against really good guards and wings. He was guarding Curry the last game, right? And Curry still got his points. But I expect that's the best possible position for the Knicks to be in, is to put Grimes on the best opposing guard. And I think that will help us during the game, help us offensively as well, because RJ or whoever else is out there doesn't have to worry about that responsibility. So I expect that to be the case tonight, and I like Grimes.
Okay. Andy?
Yeah, I agree with Josh on the defensive end. On the offensive end, I think even though he didn't make the shots and the percentages that we would love him to make, still, opposite teams just know that if he's going to get that ball, he's going to take that shot. So he's stretching the whole offense for the whole Knicks team, no matter who's on the court, who's under the rim, who's around the 3-point line. He's stretching that offense, and the teams won't want Grimes to take that shot even. So unless they're willing to risk Grimes taking open threes, he's still going to be at least a threat on the offense. So I think that's all what we would love to expect from a rookie, right?
Yeah.
I don't think you can ask for more. Play great defense and stretch the floor on the offense. Probably make a couple of threes a game. So
listen, against the last game against Golden State, I think he hit a couple of big shots. At least one big shot. At least one big shot. You know what I mean? And that's strong for a rookie. I think it was the one play. I think it put the Knicks up 7, but the Golden State Warriors, they were pushing. They were coming. Yeah. You know what I mean? And there was a couple of offensive rebounds, got kicked out to a couple of guys who missed threes, and finally Quentin Grimes was able to knock it down. Quentin Grimes, man, you got to love what he brings. You got to love what he brings.
Love it.
Julius Randle and Justice Winslow. Go ahead, Josh. I'll start with you, man.
Justice Winslow was supposed to be way better. I know he got drafted pretty high. He was supposed to be way better, but his career just kind of turned into this journeyman type of player. And I think he had a lot of talent come out of college. I think he still does have some talent, but with the way Randall's been playing lately, I mean, you have to take Julius Randle with this matchup. Julius needs to continue to attack, be aggressive, make those quick decisions, continue to push the ball up the floor, play with that pace. I think the Knicks offense is so much better when Randle, as a main facilitator or a secondary facilitator, plays with pace. This should be Julius Randle all day. He should dominate down low, much bigger than Justice Winslow. And if we can get Julius attacking and being able to knock some shots down, this should be another 25-point game for Julius Randle, no question.
Yeah, a lot of people keep saying that Julius Randle over the last 4 games is playing like last year, and I really disagree with everybody.
Yeah,
big time. I disagree. Last year, we seen a lot of from Julius Randle. What we seen last year was him pound it, kick it out to a shooter. That was all last season. Pound it. Double team come, triple team come, find the shooter. At the beginning of this season, that's exactly what the Knicks started to do. Right? It was give the ball to Julius Randle, pound it, try to find a shooter. Except this year, guys weren't knocking down shots. Julius Randle wasn't knocking down his mid-range shots. Right? And teams started to load up on Julius Randle even more and play the zone. And Julius Randle was confused. The team was confused. But now, over the last 5-6 games, the pace that he's playing with, he's not pounding it, right? He's catching the ball and going straight to the basket. He's facing up. He's not posting up as much.
Right.
He's facing up. So this way, when he faces up, he can see any double teams coming towards him. But because he's playing faster and making quick moves and quick decisions, it doesn't give time for double teams to attack him. Yeah. And then he's being found in the pick and roll a lot more. If you pay attention to the last few games, you've seen several times where Julius Randle's catching the ball on the roll, and when he's steaming to the basket that way, it's going to be hard to stop him.
From Evan Fournier, you didn't add.
From Evan Fournier, from Kemba Walker. I mean, and it's working. So it's very different. The way that he's playing right now, these past few games, is very different than last year. Very different than last year, in my opinion. And I hope it stays this way. This is the perfect play for him and the team to play, I think. You know what I mean? This is what the team is built and suited for. You know, if they continue to play this style on the offensive side, you know, I wish they would have found that out from the beginning of the season. But, of course, sometimes you got to go through your lumps to figure out what's the best way for your team to play. This is the best way for Julius Randle to play. And if he continues to play this way, you know, the Knicks offense can really start to look better. It already has, and get more rhythm. You know, is it too late? We'll see. But I'm taking Julius Randle in this matchup easy. Even though Justice Winslow is a good defender, I'm taking Randle in this matchup. Andy, same thing, taking Randle. I don't know if I got you on this.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I'm taking Randle. And, you know, the best thing about this matchup is that Justice Winslow isn't an offensive threat. So I hope it's not going to be like this and he's going to make 3-4 threes versus Julius, because he's going to just leave him there. So I really think that, you know, Julius is going to have an easy night tonight.
Yeah. I mean, I want Julius Randle to drop 30 tonight. I don't care about 25. I want him dropping 30 tonight.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
You heard it here first.
Yeah, I want him. I don't want him. I don't want ISO. I don't want ISO. I want good play, smart basketball, but dropping 30. We'll see. I don't care if the Knicks, as long as the Knicks win, I don't care what he drops, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Mitchell Robinson and Nurkic. Andy, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, this matchup might go both ways. Nurkic, you know, his solidly built, and he's playing like that, right? We got to remember he probably has 30 pounds on Mitch, even the bigger Mitch, right? He's really strong. Then again, he's not, you know, how do you say, bouncy. So he can get up with Mitch in any kind of form and way. He might be the second option basically on the Portland offense. He's going to play probably most of the pick and roll. They might dump it down in the low post for him, but versus Mitch, I think that's going to be a good matchup for Mitch. He can out jump him and block those shots, those post moves, right? I would be afraid only versus the pick and roll, how the Knicks are going to cover that pick and roll, and if the Blazers are going to adjust anything in that kind of an aspect. And he's also a good rebounder, but it's going to be power versus the athleticism and high flying of Mitch here. It's a 50-50 for me here.
Yeah,
it can go either way.
Do the Knicks have anyone out there right now that can really effectively run that screen and roll with Mitch? Maybe quickly.
Yeah, maybe.
But in the starting unit, I don't know how much he and Kemba Walker can really run it. I haven't seen it that much between those two. Maybe Evan Fournier. I don't know. Josh, what's your thoughts about this matchup?
Yeah, agreed, Sam. I don't think the Knicks have anybody in their starting lineup that can really push get to the paint as far as off the pick and roll. I think Kemba is going to run the pick and roll, but he's going to settle for jump shots, settle for mid ranges. I don't think he's going to be able to attack, and we don't have that attacking presence down there unless you want to do a 4-5 pick and roll with Julius and Mitch, which I don't think the Knicks have done much this season. But as far as Mitchell Robinson, I like the way he's been playing. He's been basically dominating the glass since he's been, got himself back in shape. He's literally been dominating the glass. So I just hope Mitch can continue to play that way. I know Nurkic is going to be a tough test for him. Nurkic is no scrub. Nurkic can play.
Right.
And he has played well in the times Portland was in the playoffs. But I think Mitch is just, he's playing at a different level right now, playing to get paid. That's a part of it too. And I expect Mitchell Robinson to win this matchup. It's going to be tough, but I expect Mitch to win it.
A big double-double for Mitch would go a long ways in helping him win this matchup and the Knicks winning this game. This is actually my matchup of the night. When I look across the board, I see, the Knicks, Julius Randle should win his matchup. Anthony Simons will probably win his matchup, right? And then we'll see what happens with Evan Fournier and either Hart, McLemore, or, Quentin Grimes is going to do what he does. But I think this Mitchell Robinson and Nurkic matchup is going to be key. Nurkic shoots 23% from the 3-point line, but he will shoot them.
Oh, yeah.
Right? He will shoot them. And if he starts to get hot from that 3-point line, that could be trouble for the Knicks, in my opinion. Mitchell Robinson, he's averaging 8.6 points per game, 8.8 rebounds per game, 1.6 blocks, 76.7% from the field, doesn't shoot threes, 52% from the free throw line. Nurkic, 14.6 rebounds a game, basically 14.6 points per game, basically 11 rebounds per game, 2.7 assists, shoots 53% from the field and 23.1% from the 3-point line. 23.1% from the 3-point line. Yeah, I said it right. And then 68.1% from the free throw line. But I get concerned always about the 3-point shooting and the way that they can run a pick and pop with a guy like Nurkic. Obviously, Nurkic can do some things in the post as well. You know, so it to me, this is the matchup of the night, the Thrive Fantasy matchup of the night, that is, ladies and gentlemen. Go to thrivefantasy.com. Bet your player props tonight, your over and unders, right? You won't be able to get the Knicks in because the game is so early, but you can get other matchups in and win you some money. All right, if you use the code NBK, you'll get a 100% match of your first deposit up to $100. The link is in the description of the video, so make sure you go check out thrivefantasy.com. But yeah, this is the Thrive Fantasy matchup of the night. We'll see how that goes. The bench. What's your thoughts about the bench? And the game starts in about 5 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. What's your thought about the benches tonight? The Knicks bench hasn't been playing that well.
No, they haven't.
You know, and that concerns me. You know, because it's just it hasn't been good. Maybe with Cam Reddish getting some burn off the bench, you know, he can spark the bench to start playing a little bit better. But Emmanuel quickly's got to stop pounding the basketball so much in that second unit. He is pounding the ball, and not reversing it. You know what I mean? And I think that's one thing that's really hurting the second unit. You know, it might be, I said it at the end of the last game, it might be time for Tom Thibodeau to give him a break. Let him sit down for a minute. Reel him in. What's your thoughts on the bench, Andy?
Listen, about that quickly point, I said it, you know, on his 5th game of his career in the NBA, that he needs to stop pounding it and taking those crazy shots. But listen, yeah, he got exposed. If he's not making those, you know, bad shots, he's basically exposed, and he's holding up the whole offense of the bench. Now, we got to take into account that Quentin Grimes is moved to the starting lineup, so that's also subtracts from the bench. Burks wasn't playing that many bench minutes because he was inserted and, you know, thrown out of the starting lineup. So he, like you said, Sim, plenty of times that he basically didn't know what game, which role he's going to have. So I think that bench needs to recover and start, you know, get back that cohesion from the season before, and even from like 10, 20 games ago. That was our go-to thing. And now the last couple of games, the bench looks really bleak. So yeah, let's hope they can catch some fire. And Sim, just to the point with the Blazers, I think they're 7th in the league in 3-point attempts and 3-point makes, right? So that's I think is a key factor, because, you know, Knicks are not guarding that 3-point line you know, that well. So I think that might be one of the key to the games. Yeah,
and they shoot 35.4% from the 3-point line. So, you know, a high number of attempts.
Collectively, right?
They can still knock it down, even though it's a high number of attempts. Looking at the season stats, the Knicks are averaging 105 a game, the Blazers 107. 46 rebounds a game for the Knicks, 43.8 for the Blazers. The Knicks are averaging 21.4 assists, the Blazers 22.7. Both teams around 7 steals. Actually, the Blazers closer to 8 steals. Both teams around 5 blocks. Both teams at 13 turnovers. The Knicks shoot 43.5% from the field. The Blazers are shooting 44.7%. Both teams at 35.4% from the 3-point line. And the Knicks are about 75% from the free throw line. The Blazers are about 76%. You know, when you look at all the shooting numbers and things, you know, the teams kind of, you know, match up as far as these numbers. Of course, these are season numbers. I didn't take a look at the last 5 games, but these are season stats right here. I agree. The Knicks have a history this season of letting teams that don't shoot well from the three-point line blaze it up. This is a team that shoots pretty much average, but they take a lot of attempts. And, that may not be a good mix because the Knicks give up a lot of attempts. So, that may not be the best mix. Josh, anything stand out to you about these numbers?
No, I think that the three-point percentage, because they're a high volume 3-point shooting team, you always have to look out for that. The Knicks haven't been that good at defending the 3-point line this season. And I understand that's what, Thibodeau wants to do. He wants to force other teams to take long jump shots. That's just, how he coaches up his defense. So it's always a concern. Just got to be able to close out on them, and that, and hopefully we can be able to stop them from shooting three ball. They do turn the ball over a lot, though. I think they also force a lot of turnovers, so that we also have to look out for that from Portland. We got to be able to take care of the basketball, no question about that. I'm going to go back to what you said about the bench. Sam, I'm not really worried about the bench. I know the entire season or beginning of the season, the bench was pretty much holding us up, keeping us afloat. And, but we want the starters to have to be playing better than the bench, right? We want that to be happening right now. I think the bench will eventually find its way. And I think a lot of the bench issues have to do with quickly. Absolutely. But the starters are playing much better. Tibbs is relying on the starters a little bit more, as he should. And I think that's why you see a drop in production from the bench. But overall, I'm not really that concerned about the bench.
Okay. All right. And the game, ladies and gentlemen, should be starting very soon. A couple of keys to the game: stay focused and motivated, right? You're still within an earshot of that playing game. So stay focused, and understand that you, over the next 4 or 5 games, you have an opportunity to close some ground, right? Close the gap a little bit. Avoid pitfalls throughout the game and execute. Defend that three-point line, as we were just discussing, right? The Portland Trailblazers shoot a lot of threes. They make it at 35%. You better defend that three-point line. Take care of the ball. The Knicks have been averaging like 16 turnovers a game over the past few games. Take care of the ball. It might be hard to do when you're playing at a higher pace, though. A lot of times a higher pace leads to more turnovers. Just take care of the ball the best you can. Try not to have a lot of turnovers, especially dumb turnovers. And let's not have bad turnovers at the wrong time. You know what I mean? That's when it really matters. That's when it really counts. And then defensive communication, rotations, and rebounding the basketball. Okay, we need Mitchell Robinson to be on the boards. We need Julius Randle to do what he did in the previous game, smash those boards. We do these, I think we win. Any other keys you want to add in there before we get out of here?
Yeah, I think the rebounding. If we win that battle, that's going to mean that Mitch handled Nurkic, and I think Simons is the only one man on that team that we need to be afraid of, because he's the only guy that could basically single-handedly win a game. Yeah. I don't think the rest of the guys have that power. So,
okay, all right, and Josh.
Yeah, staying with the rebounding, but I'm going to go offensive rebounding. I think our offensive rebounding has been really good over the past 3 games. Mitchell Robinson, Julius, I forget what the exact number it was of offensive rebounds that we had the last game, but we dominated the offensive glass. So we need to continue to do that. If we're not going to make our shots, if we can play with pace and get a lot of shots up, let's get more opportunities by getting those rebounds and getting some better shots.
Okay, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to head up out of here. Predictions, Andy, predictions?
Oh, I hope you get a W.
Yeah, I'm predicting the W. I think we're going to get the win tonight. I think we're getting the win. Josh?
111-98 Knicks.
Okay, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, I do want to make one announcement. On February 27th, the New York Knicks take on the Philadelphia 76ers. The game is at 1 p.m. I believe that's a Sunday. And what we're going to do is those who are members, you're going to have a chance to sit with me and a couple of other panel members and just watch the game and talk about the game together. Only members will have access, and there's only going to be a certain number of members. It's going to be first come, first serve. I'll put the link out there to the members. We'll be able to just watch the game, talk about it while we're watching it together, et cetera, et cetera. So if you're a member, you'll have the ability to do that, February 27th. And then after February 27th, I'll have a schedule of, the next few games that will be have been doing that same thing. So remember, February 27th is the first one at 1 p.m. versus Philadelphia. It's going to be dope. It's going to be fun. Then after the game, we'll lead right into the post-game show. All right, so if you're a member, look for that link to come out when it gets closer to that. We'll have more announcements about it anyway. But ladies and gentlemen, we're up out of here. I'll catch you after the game for the post-game show. Be peaceful. One.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.